today we are going to be decorating a Frankie Stein. So I've got in the link all my tools and all my colors that we're going to be using today. I'm not sponsored by any of these people, but if you do click on the link, I may get commission for that. But today we're going to start off, I already cut and filled the cake, and then I went ahead and colored our green icing. I used leaf green, electric green, and some ivory, and got like a nice light pastel color. And I'm going to just kind of mix it up here. Okay. And I'm going to plop some on the top. And I'm going to begin icing. I'm just kind of smoothing it to the edges or squishing it to the edges here as I turn my turntable. And then once I see that all my sides are covered or all the whole surface is covered on the top, I'm just going to continue to go around here until I feel it's pretty smooth. Now I'm going to take some more here, and I like to start with wherever the icing has fallen off the edge the most. And I add some more icing there. And then as I go, you see here, wherever I stopped, I don't go right next to it. I go almost on top of it and continue to squish the icing on the side of the cake. And I'm not worrying too much about smoothing it right now. I'm just continuously adding icing to get all the way around. And again, I'm not starting where the naked part of the cake is. I'm starting over top of where I left off. This helps reduce the amount of crumbs. Okay, and now that my cake is completely covered, I go around and just make sure it's got an even coat on it. If I need any thicker spots, and I'm going to continue to smooth it around. I see I have a couple bare spots at the bottom, so I'm just going to add a little more here. Then I'm just going to leave it like this. And then I am going to grab my cobalt spatula, and I am going to just put it against my cake and start scraping. I like to use these instead of the plastic ones that they usually give you, whether I don't know all the brands, but it's the plastic scrapers. Those tend to bend a lot. So if you have something more like this, it's not going to bend. You're not going to have that curve in your cake. And these last a lot longer. I've had this for 7 years. So I'm putting my hand here, and I'm angling my spatula. I don't do it straight on, and I don't do it completely flush against the cake like this, flush against the cake. I have it at an angle, and then I'm taking here and spinning all the way around so I can get one entire spin around. If not, you tend to have like a lot of divots in your cake. So you want to try to spin all the way around without stopping. Until you're happy with it. And I've got a couple open holes here, so I'm just going to go around a few more times. Looks like one more will be good. And as I do this, I usually step back too and make sure that I'm not lopsided in any way. Sometimes people tend to hold their spatula different ways, and then it'll make your cake slant, and we do not want that. Just filling in a couple holes because I don't want to scrape too deep. Okay. Gotta go one more. Okay, now that I have that, I'm gonna pull in my top. So one thing a lot of people wanna do is they wanna either press down too hard and then it creates like a lip over here, or they'll take it here and go all the way across. You wanna go, first I just go barely even into the middle. I just swipe in a little bit. And then once I get all the way around, that's when I go around again. So at first I'm just kind of tucking all my edges. Now I'm gonna go in and kind of get all of my seams off. So I'm gonna go in about halfway. And a lot's going on the top of this cake. So if your cake isn't perfect, it's fine. You can, all the lines aren't really gonna matter too much, but I'll just show you just because if you're not putting anything on top, you'll want that nice clean look. Okay, so kind of look here, make sure it's even. I've got a little dip down here. Okay, and for our Frankie, that is pretty good. So I'm gonna make sure my spot's clean here. Now I'm going to go along and clean my cake board. Okay. Now I'm gonna pick the front of my cake, and typically I go with the opposite side of my seam. So here's my seam where my icing came together. And I guess I'll put a border on there. I'm gonna actually turn it just a little bit because I don't like the front part. So I'm gonna turn it right here. Okay, so first I'm going to do the eyes. So I've got a tip number 5, an Ateco tip, and I'm going to come through here and I'm going to pipe like a little line and then come over here and pipe another line and make sure they're pretty symmetrical. And if not, then you just make a little wonky Frankie, which, you know, sometimes that makes it a little cute and more cartoony. But we're gonna go up and do like a half circle. And then I'm just gonna fill it in. Okay. And I'm gonna take my spatula and just smooth the eyes out. Okay. Now I'm going to change my tip to a little smaller. I'm going to go to a 2. And I'm going to give her some eyelashes. Okay. And then I'm going to take some white, and anytime I do eyes, I like to add a little white dot, almost like the glare. And I always put it, wherever I put it on one eye, I put it on the other eye. Or I guess whatever angle I put it on. Because if you put one on one side and then one on the other side, it's going to look like they're cross-eyed. Okay. All right, now we're gonna do her mouth. So I've got red in a bag with a tip number 3. I'm just gonna do a small little half smile. We're gonna come back and do the stitches, but first we're gonna do a hair. So I've got a big, large star tip. And we're gonna do some down the middle, and then I'm going to take on the side and just kind of go up and going in going in circles, like making, if you know how to make a rosette. So we're gonna go on this side. Sometimes it's harder for me to visualize on the left because I have to think the opposite because I am a righty, but I'm just going to continue to do these rosettes up and over the cake. Okay, and we'll go ahead and start going up now. So we're just going in circles, and as we go up, I stop poofing and I pull to kind of give it those tails and keep it upward. Okay. And then I'm going to go in the center a little bit. I'm going to back up just a little bit so she has kind of a hairline. And then just fill in through here. Oh, I think I just have enough. Maybe. I don't think I do. But I do have some more black in here, so I'm just gonna take a little bit of my black. Oh, I don't like when my bags get messy at the top, so I try to keep them down. And folding it over your hand like this really helps decrease the mess. Now I've probably got some air in my bag, so I'm gonna try and squeeze that out. I don't know if you heard that pop, but there's air releasing in there. Okay, so the black part of her hair is done. Now I'm going to switch my white bag and put a Ateco number 48. It's what people consider a basket weave tip. And I'm going to just go on the side here. Okay, now I'm gonna go on the other side. All right, we're almost done. Now we're gonna add some stitches to her face. I'm gonna put my number 1 back on here. If you're not as experienced and don't know how much pressure to put in here, using a bigger tip will help. I probably would have started out with a 3 when I first started, but the more you know how to use it, the smaller tip you can use. So let's see. So I'm gonna make one line and then just kind of put my stitches on here. And then I'm gonna make another one, maybe up here. Maybe one more. Okay, so we've got most of that done here. I'm gonna go ahead and put a small, our edge is very clean, so you don't even have to put a border. But if you're not that comfortable with it or don't like how your cake ended at your board, you can put a little border. I'm just using a really small tip and I'm poofing and then pulling and creating like almost a raindrop. Okay, and all the way around. If you have some fun sprinkles, you can kind of sprinkle those around the edge too. Okay, so now I'm going to take some Hershey Kisses. If you didn't have Hershey Kisses and you have extra icing, you can use some gray icing, or you can make some little fondant pieces or cutouts. But since we have Hershey Kisses here, I'm going to roll them in my silver dust. It's a really cute, cool effect here. And this stuff gets everywhere, so make sure kind of dust them off. And then we're gonna stick them right in the side here. Not sure what those are called, but whatever Frankenstein has. Okay. Now, just a little bit of glitter. Or a lot. Got a little too much on one side, so I kind of got to even it out. Okay, and then again, I'm going to wipe my board. Get a little bit of that off there. And you have your Frankie. And now you can enjoy it at your Halloween parties. Oh, and a really cool effect. I did a vanilla cake, but if you're doing more for presentation, you can dye one of your layers purple and one of them green, and then fill them, you can fill it with a different purple or a different shade of green. You can fill it with black, but that wouldn't be so great on the teeth since you already got all this up here. All right, thanks for watching.